of our 2 short-term post-acute units. There are 16 residents that can be housed here, and they're all private rooms except for one semi-private. These units and neighborhoods, I will call them, are all set up to be self-sufficient other than getting the main dishes from the kitchen, but we can cook on the neighborhoods. And as you will see here, there is a living room, dining room, and kitchen, and all of our neighborhoods have those. And each neighborhood has a med room for medications and the neighborhood coordinator's office where there can be care conferences, doctors can come in and confer with our nurses, and it would be a main RN that would be housed in the neighborhood coordinator office. Two neighborhoods close together each have a courtyard. So Kendall and Oak will have a courtyard between them because they're both the short-term neighborhoods. We're required by law to have a nurse's desk. We did not want the usual nurse's desk, so we made something that wasn't quite as conspicuous, but we will have a nurse and a computer out here so they have a place to chart too. Should we go to the semi-private room now? Here's an example of a semi-private room in our post-acute unit. The only thing that makes it semi-private is you have a common entrance and a bathroom that needs to be shared. The bathroom, we will have privacy curtains up so that people can go to the enter and exit the bathroom without everybody watching who's coming and going. And each of our rooms in the post-acute have a shower in their bathroom. You'll notice a wall that comes about halfway across the room, so it gives them even more privacy. And we don't have TVs up yet, but each room will have a 32-inch flat screen TV. Now if you notice the beds too, they are 42-inch wide. Not all the rooms will have them. We have to reuse some of them from Cedar View because we don't have quite enough money in our budget for the construction to get all 42-inch. Also, if you look up, you will notice that we have an overhead lift system, and that will be in all the rooms. We had enough money to get the lift system in all the rooms, although the motors that work in the lift system, we only have approximately 20 motors. So our goal is to have motors in all the rooms. And what you're seeing right now is each resident will have their own medication cabinet. It'll be locked, and unless it's a narcotic or a liquid that needs to be refrigerated, it will be stored right in here, which would cause a lot less medication errors. It's intended to do that, plus it gives a little more privacy. Sometimes you go into facilities, you'll see these big old med carts that they serve out in the dining rooms, which isn't very home-like. When we come down the hall, you'll notice how wide the hallways are. And at the end of the wing on both post-acute units, there is a spa room and a laundry room. Can you see the marquee up there? Okay, the marquee, we are having a wireless nurse call system in all of our units. What that is there will be marquees, plus anybody that puts on their call light, it actually goes to the marquee, it goes to the nurse's station, and it goes to like little radios that our staff in the neighborhoods will be wearing. It is less of a noise problem this way. But also the nice thing about this system is it will actually come to my computer so I can monitor how long it takes for anyone to answer call lights. Maybe I did it too many times fast. I'll have to wait a minute. We'll just have to wait on this one. Now what you see, we're entering the spa room, and each neighborhood in the short-term post-acute has a spa room that has a large whirlpool tub and a toilet. And it's a large enough room that we, down the road, can offer massages in here and have a massage table set up. There is no shower in this room because all the post-acute rooms have their own shower. And what you see right now is a laundry room at the end of the neighborhood. And Kendall and Oak both have one laundry room where we'll do all personal laundry right on the unit. The linens and such go out to a textile services out of Rochester. Okay, we have 3 different color themes for all the rooms, and it's one wall that is painted, like for instance, this one is a plum theme, and we have the rust and the blue, and right next door here is the blue. The semi-private room has a rust, but they are interspersed throughout. Okay, we're walking down to the end of our unit here. We have linen storage right here that will go to a larger linen storage room and bring it and supply each neighborhood. And then we're coming to the front of the neighborhood where we have a medication room. We store our supplies and any refrigerated goods or those that need to be double locked, such as the narcotics. From here we're going into a little sitting area, and this area is between both Kendall and Oak, our post-acute neighborhoods. This is actually our safe area for tornadoes. This is all blocked in. So it'll be a nice little sitting area for people to get off the neighborhoods and have a little private visit with family or friends. And as we go out here, you're going to hear a lot of hammering still. We come to the front entrance of Koda. And this is basically for our short term and our rehab outpatients that come in. And in this area you will see a nice big area where we have a few sitting areas. We'll have a little coffee shop to the right. And then to the left we have a receptionist concierge desk. Now before we go down the main hallway, let's go down to the rehab center. Beautiful rehab center where we have a full kitchen, you'll be seeing. And if you just kind of look at the space here as you enter. And the beautiful windows that mimic the Wells Fargo building windows. Our architect saw that and thought he should bring it together for Owatonna. Now off to the right you see laundry facilities, and a kitchen so that we can work with people to make sure they're safe to go home and do their own laundry or their own cooking. We also have a full restroom that has a tub and a shower. There again, so we can make sure people are safe getting in and out of the tub if that's what they choose, or shower. And then back in this area, we also have 4 private treatment rooms. One of the treatment rooms will have a bariatric mat table, and the other 3 will just have regular size mat table. Although the regular ones actually hold up to 500 pounds, bariatric will go to 1,000. Right across where we're headed, you will see that there'll be offices for the therapists to do their charting and also for the director of rehab. Then as we walk into the bigger area that has the larger windows, this will have the HER equipment around all the edges. And this HER equipment is especially good for those who've had surgery or are more fragile. It is pneumatic instead of hydraulic. The pneumatic is more sensitive and easier for the joints to move so slightly without any real pressure. Also in this room, if you look up, they're working on the overhead lift system, and it will be in an H. So each side will have a long tracking, and there'll be one that goes across in an H. So you can either go back and forth or up and down. This is especially useful for those who can't bear weight from surgery, but still need to keep their joints moving and everything else moving and muscles going, that we can actually put them on a machine that would be useful to keep their wellness and their restore, not have to restore anything after the fact. Now, when you see the entrance of this, we will have a few chairs and a TV for those waiting for therapy too, besides the room you saw before this that can also be restorative rehab waiting area. Now to our left, we'll walk down and we are headed towards the hospital. This wing right here will turn left and go to the link that will connect us to Owatonna Hospital. We're entering the actual link right now. And this goes further down. Right now it's blocked off to leave the hospital without us going into it while we're under construction. This link will go down to the entrance right before the hospital service elevators. They will be blocking those off with doors too, so we will be to the north of those doors. And if you go straight down and take a right, you get into the main hallway that leads to the front door of the hospital. Allows quick access to the clinic going left or right to the emergency room. This link was a collaboration between Owatonna Hospital and Steele County Communities for a Lifetime. And it took a little bit for everyone to come to terms with how we were going to build this, the cost, and the access to make sure it was safe for everybody. Now the link leads right to past rehab center to the front receptionist desk and the front entrance for the post-acute care units. Okay, this We are going down the main hallway now. This will be more of the public hallway for going to different offices. Right here to your left, you're seeing the outer business office. We'll have a few computers in there for our staff to do education or for consultants that need a computer. In this room, you also have the director of nursing's office, the business office, and then my office, the administrator's office, right off to the right. Again, you'll see the windows are the half circles, again mimicking the architecture of the Wells Fargo building, and we love the light in here. Right next to the administrator office is a conference room, which we are so happy to have. We didn't have anything like this where we could have private meetings, because you could hear everything in any room we went into. We'll have a video system in here and hold most of our board meetings in here. Now down this hall, we are going towards the chapel. On the way to the chapel, you'll see a large storage room area that is either for equipment or for things such as tables and chairs that we'll need. And also back in this room, we had a special room made for liquid oxygen, which for those who don't have insurance or Medicare to cover it, it's actually a lot less costly than the regular oxygen you get in the tanks, and safer. Now to your right, you will see our chapel. This is the window that is in the hallway, and this is, when we have enough money, is supposed to be etched glass so that you can see stained glass through the other window. There are 3 entrances to the chapel because we have the ability to block off into 3 separate rooms in the chapel, and there are sound systems in each of the 3 rooms. What you see here is the main area. The woodwork here is intended so that if we do have public meetings or staff meetings, all staff, that the altar, ambo, and any religious items we can gently push back and shut the doors so that we keep the religious items separate. And then, of course, the 3rd room we have here we have the movable walls too between each of the 3. And if you want to take a look up there, this is our wonderful rose stained glass window that was done by Dietrich Spahn. He's a man from Germany who does this for a living, and we did get this in. We're intended to have 2 more stained glass windows, one on either side, the half moon, and then also the 2 inside the etched glass. We also have a camera in here that will be able to film any services or any activity that's going on so that we can project it on an in-house TV station. Across from here, we have a reflection room, which you might not be able to see well because the lighting is not hooked up yet. But this room is meant to be always used for either meditation or reflection. Eventually it will have 1 kneeler and a couple chairs, and this will always be kept for spiritual only. Now as we walk down the hall, of course right outside the chapel there'll be an area with some chairs to sit at, and we also come upon a chaplain's office. We are not fortunate enough to have a chaplain right now. That isn't our goal for down the road. However, this room will be able to be used by any of the ministers that come in to visit. They can have a private area to meet with families or residents. And next to the chaplain's office then would be the long-term care guest services, which is the social worker for long-term care. And then we get to the entrance for long-term care. Is on the north side of the building. See the entrance here, and then right you come into a little sitting area that there again people from any of the neighborhoods can come out here, families, and just have a little more private space away from the neighborhood. To To the right, we're not going to go into this, but this is the Dawn wing. And the Dawn and Aspen are our long-term care. We'll go into to Aspen. And before we do that, we'll want to take a look at the courtyard between Dawn and Aspen, the long-term care wings. There's a larger one here that you can get to through the Wellness Center that we'll be seeing next. And the Wellness Center is more for those in long-term care that maybe are a little more fragile and don't need the rehab department, but we'll keep them going and keep them moving. Now this room, we will have some tables and chairs, a TV. You'll see that there's some dumbbells and ankle weights and a balance board. We'll also have a couple machines. So this will be more like an activity and social wellness room, and keep our elders moving so that we can prevent decline as much as possible. Okay, right across from the wellness room is our beauty shop. Our beauty shop is set up. It's kind of muddled up with equipment right now, but there will be a manicure station, a pedicure station, a shampoo bowl, 2 stations for beauticians, and then of course hair dryers. And a phone in here in case anyone needs to reach one of the neighborhoods. Then we go further west and we come upon the social wellness director's office. And this will be where what used to be called activity staff, now they are wellness staff, will meet in here and do their planning. Also the controls for the in-house TV station so that we can put on church services, movies, make announcements what the daily activities are right on their TV. We're now entering the Aspen wing. Dawn and Aspen are each our short-term wings, and there are 24 in each wing, or excuse me, neighborhood. Within the neighborhood there are 2 wings and there's 12 on each wing. You'll notice to your left, neighborhood coordinator's office, which each of the wings have, or excuse me, each of the neighborhoods. Then in the long-term area, we have 1 neighborhood kitchen that is in the middle of the 2 wings of Aspen here. Each side is built so that it can house 12 people, so there will only be 3 dining room tables, which will allow a lot of room. And then there's a separate living room, which you see at the end there. Then straight ahead, you will see where the nurse's station is. Again, because it's a requirement, we have one out here. But we intend for staff to work right in the neighborhoods, either at tables or the living room or with a resident when they're doing any charting. And we have beautiful woodwork in the long-term care neighborhood where we can put some books and vases, and there'll also be a nice TV in here too. Now, Aspen and Dawn, they're built in a 90-degree angle, so in between the 2 wings, they each have their own little courtyard. And this is meant more for people that maybe have dementia that may wander. You'll notice we have the larger fences just in these 2. And over there also there will be a gate, and it'll be hooked up with a code. So it will actually unlock on its own during any kind of fire alarm. In the neighborhood, at the end of each wing, we have both a spa room and a laundry room. There again, we're doing personal laundry and sending out our linens. Wing of this neighborhood to serve 12. And then we should go into a semi-private room of long-term care. You will note that they have the overhead systems again, lift systems. And each side has their own little personal space, so you aren't bed against bed. It has more privacy, even though it is semi-private. Okay, the bathrooms in here, we did not have showers in the long-term care. It was our dream to put showers in all the rooms, but because of the cost of the project, we had to cut back. Then on the opposite end of this wing, there is a spa room. The spa rooms on the long-term care have both the whirlpool tub and a shower and a toilet. For this wing of Aspen, all of these wings in the neighborhoods are more in a long kind of circle, rectangular shaped circle. So now we're just coming back to the entrance again, way down the hall. And in the process, we have some storage for soiled linen, clean linen, and some mechanical equipment. Now each of these 90-degree wings in the neighborhood, again, has separate dining and living room, but they do, in the long-term care, share a neighborhood kitchen. Now we're walking into the other wing of Aspen, which we walk into the dining room first, which there'll be 3 dining room tables and a living room set up with a TV. Nurse's desk off to the right in the dining area.
Remember that last year when me and Jody didn't get to even sit together? So, okay, but then this year,
Then we come up to the end of this wing on this neighborhood, and we also have a laundry room down this way. And on the opposite end, a spa room that, again, has a whirlpool tub and a shower. And I think what's interesting about these wings, I love the idea that it does face out to the airport. And there's little planes landing all the time.
pick up Jody last year.
Again, in this long-term neighborhood, we have the same 3 themes where we have one wall interspersed throughout that's rust, one that is the darker blue, and one that is plum. And furnishings will be designed with those colors. Then we're coming back to the main entrance again from this wing of the Aspen unit.
You guys getting lost yet? Doing good? Oh, good.
And we're coming back, what you see straight ahead of you is the neighborhood coordinator's office. She is right at the point of the 2 wings. Now we're exiting back into the main corridor again, which we just call the administrative wing. And this will lead us in that long rectangular circle. We're going down the service hallway now. We're going right by where the beauty shop is and headed towards where the kitchen is. Public restroom on this end. We have a staff break room on the right. with their own restrooms inside. And on the left, we have our soiled linens and clean linens. This is where they'll be delivered. And here's our receiving on the right. This is our main receiving room. We have a small maintenance shop. It is not real big, but we still have the shop at the lower level of Cedar View also. And then we come to the culinary department. And as you enter, you will see to the right, there is a small office that is for the assistant director and dietitian. You'll see straight ahead of you some equipment here. Really nice equipment. We've never had a fryer before, or some of the equipment that we've never had. The fire suppression system here, that actually, without the equipment, runs $60,000, which shocked me. And then we come back through the kitchen. On the other side, we have convection oven, the cook and hold. We also have the tilt table fryer that you can make large quantities of fried rice or fried foods. And there's a large pot for like stews, soups that actually you can tilt and pour. To the back of the department, there is a private restroom for culinary staff, an area to clean out mops. And then to the right, we have a walk-in freezer and a walk-in refrigerator. At the end of this little hallway, we have the dry storage room. And this is for all our canned and other goods, extras that they'll need for cooking each day. To the right, straight ahead of us, we are going into the dish room. So we have the dishwashing room in here. Dishes will come in through the service hallway, be washed, and go into the kitchen. And they shouldn't get any dishes from the neighborhoods other than the pots and pans. The neighborhood should be doing their own. On this side, on this side is another entrance to the storage area that we saw before, but this is a different view. And you'll see straight ahead of you where the door is to the left, the brown door. We're actually going to be having liquid oxygen. Now the rest of this hallway is mostly offices. First office you'll see will be the culinary director's office. Next office is two people sharing, which would be our quality manager, education coordinator, and scheduling. We have a larger office right here that will house 4 people out here. These are the RNs that do our MDSs and admissions. And they tend to work very closely together, those two groups. And this back room is actually housed for medical records. And to the back of that is a small storage area. We walk further down the service hallway and you've got marketing and development director's office. Then you have human resource office. And coming up next on the left is the direct entrance to the business office. If you notice, we went by this before, but this is the outer business office we're walking into now. And in here, you can get to the copy room, then the clinical director's office. There's the business office, and here's the administrator's office. And we are at the front of the building again, where the reception desk and short-term care entrance is.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
And that's about it.